What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we're jumping in with a roadmap breakdown for episode Heresy. And the goal of the video is to round up all of the important dates for this episode, but also to break down the content that we're getting in Act 1 versus Act 2 and 3, upcoming weapon rewards, exotic quests, the continuation of the story for the episode, but also seasonal events, the rollout of various challenges which can award some pretty nice Heresy weapons, and a couple of teasers and secrets thrown in the mix as well regarding upcoming activity content and exotic rewards. So if you guys enjoy this one or find it useful, a rating below very much helps us out, but now let's get into it. Of course, by the time that this video has gone live, weeks 1 and 2 of Heresy have pretty much passed, so for the remainder of Act 1, of course the Nether and the current weapons that we have can continue to be played or earned. Otherwise, we've got one more week of story for the third week of the episode, which according to the database will lead us to 3 side quests. And the completion of those, according to the collections, will reward the Ruinous Flame legendary ship. So that's something we'll be seeing in the next week or so. Otherwise, the first Iron Banner of episode Heresy will also go live during Act 1, and that'll be starting on the 18th of February. And from the Iron Banner this time around, we do have a new trace rifle, which looks pretty juicy, as well as an update to the Peace Bond sidearm, and continued opportunities to earn Tenacious Mastery and last season's Iron Banner armor. Also with week 3 though, we'll complete part 3 of Echoed Warnings, so that looks to be the conclusion of the Act 1 storytelling. But from the seasonal challenges, we'll continue to get Masterwork Double Origin Trade weapons for the episode. So week 3 will see a challenge that drops the Psycho Pump, but also Curio of the 9 items will continue to drop through the seasonal challenges. And we have of course yet to discover precisely what their purpose will be. On week 4 of the episode, we'll get a seasonal challenge that drops the Eyes Unveiled, which is the linear fusion rifle, again masterworked with double origin traits. Then on week 5, there'll be a challenge for the Adamantite, which is of course the auto rifle. 2 final mentions for Act 1 right here. Bungie have now said that the current target for the return of contest mode for the Sundered Doctrine dungeon is Saturday, February 22nd, starting at reset time, and contest mode will be re-enabled for 24 hours. This is of course because there was the issue with PlayStation Network when Contest originally launched, so Bungie are essentially offering a make good here, and they say during that time, players may earn the Contest Mode Triumph, Emblem, and a guaranteed drop of Finality's Augur. So if that's one you've been looking out for, Contest Mode will return for 1 full day, starting Saturday, February 22nd at reset. Otherwise, Bungie also say that Grandmaster Nightfalls will launch after the 3rd week of the episode. Well, the 3rd week is next week on the 18th of February. The wording isn't entirely clear, I'm not sure if it starts on the 18th or the week after the 18th, but in the next couple of weeks, as part of Act 1, Grandmaster Nightfalls will also go live. Then, Act 2 will begin on March 11th, so from there the story will continue. We'll also get new artifact mods, weapons, and the exotic catalyst for the Barrow Dyad. Before we get to that though, according to Bungie leaks, there'll be a new activity during Act 2 called the Cord of Blades. This will have 3 different bosses, so there'll be the Blood of Oryx, Wrathborn, and Lucent Brood. And we know that Act 2 will only be 3 weeks long, so those 3 variants make sense if that's the case. And the featured Act 2 weapons will include the bow from this season's set, as well as the glaive, SMG, sidearm, and fusion rifle, although some of them did drop early at the start of Act 1. And for each of the 3 weeks that Act 2 is live, we'll get more of the seasonal challenges that award those weapons. But also in Act 2, Bungie have said that the Moment of Clarity upgrade for the first exotic catalyst for the Barrow Dyad will become available when Act 2 launches. The interesting part is that we're not sure if we'll get all of the catalysts during Act 2, or whether that will bleed into Act 3. That does seem entirely possible, but the quests for those catalysts include Dyadic Perfection, a Silken Path, a Needle's Path, a 100-fold Path, and a Hammer's Path, so it would appear those will possibly tie into the continuation of the story, given that they're paused for the remainder of Act 1. Something else that we'll get access to for Act 2 though, will be the return of Guardian Games, the seasonal event for Heresy. So it'll be a pretty typical Guardian Games event with cosmetics, the event card, although there will be a new weapon, which funnily enough will be another trace rifle with arc damage. So we'll be getting 2 arc trace rifles during Act 2, one from Iron Banner, other from Guardian Games. We don't have a specific date that Guardian Games will drop just yet though. And something else to mention before we move on to Act 3, but as many of you guys will know, the No Land Beyond appears to be coming back to Destiny 2 during this episode. And according to various sources, it will be a pre-order bonus for the next expansion for Destiny. Now, we don't know when that's going to be revealed or when the weapon will be available, but obviously it's possible that it could happen during Act 2, and if not, it will be during Act 3. So while we don't know specific dates, it is something else on the calendar at some point, more than likely in the next couple of months. Moving up to Act 3 though, this will launch on April 1st. This is an interesting one because Bungie outlines that April 1st till the 8th will be another Iron Banner week. So week 1 of an act with Iron Banner is definitely a little bit different. Act 3 will once again get new artifact mods and the continuation of the episode story though. But keep in mind, Act 3 will not see the introduction of more Heresy weapons because they should have all been released by the start of Act 2. Another seasonal activity that we do know about though is a returning strike from Destiny 1. So a spoiler alert here, we don't know how this will play into the story, but according to Bungie leaks, the Sunless Cell, of course the Alakul strike from Destiny 1, will be coming back. So it's safe to assume that this will be another mode that will drop for one of the acts of the episode. It seems possible this could be swapped with Court of Blades in Act 2. And yes, where you fight the Taken Meatball on the Nether is the prison area from the Dreadnought, which was one of the starting zones for the Sunless Cell strike in Destiny 1. And of course, we do have that big door with all the hive locks on it, teasing that something hides within. And as far as we know from the database, that will be the Sunless Cell strike when it decides to open up. So there's another one of the activities. But during Act 3, we'll have a couple more weeks of seasonal challenges that award Heresy weapons. So for Act 3 Week 1, we'll get the sidearm for Heresy, and for Week 2, we'll get the fusion rifle from one of the challenges. That week we'll also see a bonus Trials of Osiris weapon and another Curio of the Night. So we're going to be earning these right up until towards the end of the season. And week over week beyond that, according to challenges, there are still some classified items, probably linked to upcoming activities and stuff, but otherwise they become fairly normal seasonal challenges at that point. Only other thing to mention is that Iron Banner will return once again during Act 3 from April 29th to May 6th. And so for the moment, that's just about everything we know about how the timeline for this episode will pan out. But for those wondering what content we're going to get and when, hopefully this video has been useful. So share any thoughts down below. Let us know any bits of content or rewards, of course, that you are looking forward to. And if you found this video useful, do us a favor and get subscribed to the channel, as that really helps us out. Otherwise though, thanks for tuning in, and I hope you guys have an awesome day.
We need to get Heresy out of here! Invite the horror in. Hold it close. Reach into the unknown. And prepare for it to reach back.